President Trump is considering firing Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. I'm going to tell you why I think that's a great idea and absolutely necessary. We now know that Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein was the one who ordered the FBI to raid President Trump's personal attorney, Michael Cohen's offices and homes. This is an extraordinary step because the FBI swept up pretty much all of Cohen's electronic devices, his laptops, his computers, his cell phones, his tablets, his even non-electronic devices, his records that weren't digitized. There is no doubt, there is 100% certainty that there are attorney-client privilege materials within those files, within those seized items. That in and of itself is very problematic. Now, when law enforcement raids an attorney's office, there's supposed to be what's called a taint team. The taint team sits between the law enforcement investigators who seized the materials and the defendant, the suspect, whatever their classification might be. The officials on that team, on that taint team, what they're trying to do is avoid documents being tainted by law enforcement viewing privileged materials. But taint teams don't work because they're law enforcement. Now, they're supposed to have nothing to do with that investigation, but it never works because the agents or the police officers or whomever on that taint team still work with the agents on the case. They're good friends. They socialize. They go and have drinks together. They are each other's kids' godparents. It doesn't work. They speak. The information is always compromised. It happens inevitably. They simply don't work. It's a very dangerous precedent that law enforcement has set. More about that in a moment. Why this case, though, is most troubling, why this case is incredibly troubling, is that we now know that it was not Jeffrey Berman, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, who ordered the raids on Cohen's offices and home. We know that it was, again, the same guy involved in this, McCabe's good friend, the guy who Jeff Sessions defers to, Rod Rosenstein. Rod Rosenstein ordered the raids personally on the, well, I won't say the urging, but after getting information from his good friend, and I consider co-conspirator in a soft coup against the sitting president of the United States, Robert Mueller. Yeah, Rod Rosenstein ordered these raids. Forget the fake news. Berman, who had prior relationship with Cohen, they knew each other through the legal circles. Now, Jeffrey Berman, was appointed by President Trump and Attorney General Jeff Sessions to replace the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. Berman is the new U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, and because he had a previous, whether it be professional or personal relationship with Michael Cohen, they had crossed paths in some fashion. Berman had recused himself from all matters pertaining to Michael Cohen. Enter Rod Rosenstein. Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, ordered the raids on Michael Cohen's offices. I won't say at the urging again, but upon receiving, like I mentioned, upon receiving information from Mueller. This is problematic on so many levels, I don't know where to begin. First and foremost, why is Robert Mueller investigating Stormy Daniels? Is this low-rent stripper now a Russian agent? Well, no, we know she's not. So there was no reason for Robert Mueller to be looking at anything pertaining to the Stormy Daniels matter. It's silly in and of itself. It's ludicrous. But for Rod Rosenstein to take the extraordinary step of ordering these raids, well, for you to be okay with that, you have to ignore the fact that Rosenstein himself should be recused from this matter because Rosenstein is potentially a witness for Mueller if Mueller is in fact looking into obstruction of justice. If Mueller is looking into obstruction of justice charges against the President of the United States because the President fired James Comey. Now, we've talked on the show many times about why that's silly and nonsensical and the President has the right to fire the FBI director for any reason. But if that is what Mueller is looking at, then Rod Rosenstein is a witness because it was his memo that recommended firing Comey. You can't be a witness in a matter and also the managing prosecutor on that matter. Now, we're told that Mueller doesn't run unrestricted. I don't believe it. We're told that Mueller has a scope. I don't believe it. We're told that Rod Rosenstein manages Mueller. I don't believe that either. He might entitle But Rod Rosenstein and Mueller are partners in this effort to take down a sitting president because he won the election when Hillary Clinton was supposed to. That's what this is about. That's all this is about. This should send a chill down the spine of every American. Every American should look at this and be horrified. If this can be done to a billionaire who ascended to the presidency, who in addition to his billions and his global empire, is now the most powerful man on the face of the earth, who has the might of U.S. law enforcement, the intelligence community, and military behind him. If those entrenched bureaucrats can do this to him, my God, what can they do to us? What can they do to you? What can they do to me? These people have the ability to destroy lives. They're doing that to Michael Cohen. They're doing that to the president's family. They're doing that to people who worked on the campaign. This is beyond disgraceful. This is beyond troubling. This is, in fact, a constitutional crisis. Now, some pretty sophisticated, some pretty well-known constitutional lawyers, some pretty well-known law enforcement figures have the same issues with this that I do. They think the Mueller probe should be shut down. They realize how ridiculous the allegations against Michael Cohen are. And I'm going to tell you all about that, who they are, why those allegations are ridiculous on my longer show, Off the Cuff Declassified, today, right here on The Rebel. This Mueller investigation and Rosenstein's complicity in what I feel to be a very tarnished, improper investigation, this is probably one of the most important reports, some of the most important commentary I'll ever bring you. And I want to do it every single day. So please subscribe to our premium service at www.therebel.media/shows.